A biter without any teeth.
And I'm wondering, will the king claim the throne?
Welcome to MTG Unraveled, where we each choose a magic card and over-explain it to distract you from your current hyperfixation. I'm Rafa.
And I'm Ryan. Today, we're talking about The Hobbit. It is going to be released this next weekend. We're super excited about it. Hopefully you guys are too. So we picked some cool cards that we wanted to highlight for this episode. And as usual, we'll start off with your card.
Yeah, I'm flipping the script. I didn't pick a $1 or $2 card. I picked a card that combos. All right, let's go.
Okay.
It is 3 mana. It's a legendary artifact equipment. It's a mythic from The Hobbit, obviously.
There's a lot of equipment stuff in The Hobbit. They're very focused on equipment.
Yeah, the dwarves like equipment, so...
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. They're fighters. I think I have an idea, but let's go ahead and you can do the text box first.
This one was held by a dwarf. Let's go to the text box. It's equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has trample. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, choose a creature type. Create a treasure token for each creature you control of that type. Equip for 3.
It was held by a dwarf, so it's not Sting, which is what I was thinking.
The first Sting came out in The Lord of the Rings, but they did print a new one.
Yeah, there's a new one.
Yeah, I like the old Sting better.
Some sort of axe.
No, it's not an axe. It is an elvish weapon. It is Orcrist Goblin-Cleaver.
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
No?
No.
Neat. We'll get into what dwarf held this. A lot of people, if they're Hobbit fans, probably already know. If you don't, if it's not sounding familiar to you, no.
Nope.
Okay, so let's first explain the card mechanically in game. It's pretty straightforward, but this card is a payoff for Typal decks, obviously.
Yay.
The first part I think is really neat for Typal decks that have creatures that want to connect. So like in my Shrewfus deck, where it's Saprolings, when the Saprolings connect, you end up making more Saprolings. So I think it's really neat in something like that. There's probably a million Typal creatures that care about. Yeah, elves. Anyway, any Typal decks that are swinging, this card's already pretty good in for that first part. And that bottom part reminds me of 3 Tree City.
Yeah.
Makes mana equal to the number of creatures you have if you connect. If you've ever played with 3 Tree City, that card's freaking good.
Good.
It's 3 mana to cast and 3 mana to equip though. So I think you need both of the lines of text to benefit to really justify putting this in a deck. There's so much Typal support that if you're putting something that takes 6 mana before you get anything from it really, like 6 mana is a lot to do nothing unless you hit a player.
Yeah. Like I said elves, but I don't think this is something that I would put in my elf deck.
Elves don't have a problem making 1 billion mana.
Yeah.
So
Valid.
Yeah.
But for underrepresented typals,
yeah. Oh yeah.
This could be really good.
Underrepresented, it's good for, and again, anything that needs to connect needs to be swinging. This is a payoff for swinging.
Yeah.
It has 2 arts. It has a base art by Ericus Pearl with Thorin holding Orcrist, and it's glowing blue with goblins in the background. Orcrist is the focal point of the image, and the shadows it creates from its glow give the card a really neat look. There is a Borderless Dragon Horde frame version, which is like the red ones have the scale missing, the colorless ones don't.
That's silly.
And it's got more of an animated feel to it, almost like the old Hobbit movie, if you've ever seen that one. The art is illustrated by Francisco Badia, and it has a search foil treatment as well for it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty. At time of recording, the base version of this card for pre-ordering, how much do you think it costs on Card Kingdom?
I'm gonna go $5.
$5 now. $15.
Dang.
Yeah. But I think it'll probably stay around that. I don't know. It's hard to tell with this card, honestly, how much it's going to go in Typal decks. It'll do a lot.
I don't think it'll stay at 15.
You don't think so?
No.
I think it's got a chance.
You already said there's so much Typal support, and I don't think this is necessarily something that goes, oh my gosh, this is a every Typal deck. And these pre-release prices, bro.
I mean, this is Card Kingdom too. They're not known for being the cheapest, but they are reliable. So,
yeah.
How much do you think the surge foil of the fancy frame on Card Kingdom is? Go higher than what you're thinking.
$80.
$400.
Oh my gosh.
I told you to go higher. I could tell.
Dang.
Depending on how rare it is, that one might stay, that one might go higher. It really just depends on how rare the surge foil treatments are.
Spoilers. I was making guesses based off my card, which I think my card's better. But Good gravy.
So for combos of this card, I couldn't really find anything that like listed it all out, but there's a card that's remarkably similar to this card already. The Reaver Cleaver.
Yeah.
So anything that the Reaver Cleaver combos with this does. So Aggravated Assault, if you can make 5 mana, you've got infinite combats, right? Time Sieve, if you can make 5 artifacts, you can sack them to take an extra turn. Hellkite Charger does the same thing, extra combats, but for 7 mana. And Najeela, infinite combo if you make 5 treasures, because you get another combat. So there are plenty of decks where this would go in there because it's another infinite combo piece.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. We'll see. It still might not hold. It's hard to tell.
It's always hard to tell.
So let's get into lore. This is a good part. There's not too much because it's just a sword, right? I mean, it comes from the first age of Middle Earth. So it was forged a long, long time ago.
It is a sword?
Yeah, it's a sword. It's an elvish sword.
I expected it to be an axe.
This sword was forged alongside Glamdring, which is Gandalf's sword.
Yeah.
They're mates, is what that's called.
Oh.
And it's carried by Thorin, of course, in part of The Hobbit. He loses it in the forest at one point, but he gets it back in the movie, but he doesn't get it back in the book until he's dead. They found these swords in the Troll's Den after the Trolls turned to stone. That's where Gandalf got his sword and Thorin got this sword and where Sting came from.
Yeah.
So those were all 3 together. But apparently Glamdring and Orcrist were mates.
You know what? That could be really cool if they made like, you know how Magic has the like 2-sided swords, like Fire and Ice and blah, blah, blah. They could make a card with them together because they're mates and make it do really cool stuff like the other ones. Ideas.
It's weird to me that they're mates because they look so different. Like I would expect swords that are mates to look more similar. I don't know why. Orcrist also is a combination of orc, obviously it's first part of the name, and elvish for ris, which means to cut. So to cut orcs. And it's called biter by the orcs of the Misty Mountains in the book and movies, which is why I said it's a biter without any teeth.
I'm sitting there picturing like Gollum with the fish.
Yeah.
Because he's only got so many teeth, right?
I didn't say with few teeth. So if you had to rate this card on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
It's pretty good. I'll conservatively give it like a 7.
Only a 7? That's fine. That's pretty high, honestly.
Yeah, I think it will most definitely see play. I think we'll know more about really how good it is once it does see that play and get a little more data on it, which is why it's a 7.
I think it's going to spike at first when it comes out because people are going to see this card. Everyone's got a typal deck and they're going to want to throw it in their typal deck. And then I think some people are going to end up taking it out because it doesn't mesh well with some types, in my opinion. All right, what do you have for your card?
Okay, so we have 2 black, green, and a blue legendary creature, elf, noble. It's a rare, and it has a power and toughness 5/6.
No wonder you were thinking about elves so much. I don't actually remember which one this is. I remember seeing this card, but I don't remember much about it, to be honest.
I'm always thinking about elves. All right, text box. This card has all activated abilities of all elf cards in your graveyard. Whenever another legendary elf you control enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card.
Wow, that sounds pretty good. Legendary elf matters. There's a lot of good legendary elves.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Is this the main man, Elrond?
It is not Elrond. Oh. I'm talking about Thranduil, the Elvenking.
Oh, it is the main man. I just got it wrong.
Legolas's daddy.
What?
Daddy, like, literally, not in that way. Don't be gross. So really quick, let's jump into the art for it. There's the base art by MacLeod Villeneuve, and it is Thranduil sitting on an elven-style throne. You can see it's kind of like forested, made out of wood. The other art is the book cover style that they have done for a couple of cards, and it's also Thranduil, and he's just standing there, looking all elven and kingly-like with his scepter, his staff, whatever it is, and a cup of wine in the other hand.
Fancy.
Pre-release prices, I also looked at Card Kingdom, just because they tend to be the most reliable. And for the base, regular non-foil, what do you think this is sitting at?
I'm going to go by you projecting what your card was, $5.
Yeah, just about.
Woo!
For the base art, we're looking at $6 to $7, whether it's, foil or not. And then for the book cover art, it also comes in a surge foil. How much do you think that one is?
How much did you say? $80. $80.
I gave too much away. Yeah, the book cover art ranges from 20 all the way up to 80 for non-foil up to the surge foil.
That is pretty crazy though, honestly. For a card that I don't know how many decks are going to get built out of it. It's a cool card, but...
I think it's a really cool card, and I think it definitely will have some decks built. We'll talk about that in just a moment. There is one flavor text for the card on the base art, not on the book cover. And I think it's some of the most boring flavor text I've ever read in my life. It says, in a great hall with pillars hewn out of living stone sat the Elvenking on a chair of carved wood. Does this man do anything but sit? I don't know.
Why do you need to do more than sit if you're a boss?
He rides around on an elk and stuff, so that's pretty cool. A giant elk that was actually played by a horse in the movies who did not want to listen to direction at any point. By the way, when he's talking to Thorin when they're in the mountain and he's down below, every time he tried to say his line, the horse would just be like, nah, bro, and turn around so that Thorin was talking to the horse's butt.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It took hours of trying to get an actual take for that.
Okay, it's funny like the first or second time. It's not funny if it was like for hours.
Over and over and over. To the point where they actually had to like bring somebody in to like crouch down and try to keep the horse, and it would still like
want to. That's
yeah,
so
that's
weird.
why in the final cut he's there. You can see quite a bit of like movement still. That was like the best they could do. I watch a lot of behind the scenes for The Lord of the Rings. So there you go. Fun fact. Normally for these kind of cards, we wouldn't see any like EDH rec stats, right?
Yeah.
Well, as of the 23rd of July, there are already 535 decks listed. The top tags are combo, elves, and mill.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That first part of that card just screams combo.
There's plenty of ways, which is why I looked up what on earth are we comboing with. So with Devoted Druid, which is tap, add a green, put a -1/-1 counter on it, untap. Immaculate Magistrate, which is put a +1/+1 counter on each elf. You can add mana by removing the +1/+1 counters with like Devoted Druid by putting the -1/-1.
It's infinite, yeah.
It's infinite. And then you can infinitely add the +1/+1 counters on it with the Immaculate Magistrate.
That's cool.
Yes. So now that you have all the mana you could ever want and all the +1/+1 counters you could ever want, let's draw all the cards we could ever want. Deepwood Denizens, which is 5 and a green, tap, draw a card. It costs 1 less for each +1/+1 counter on the creature. So really it's just a green, tap, add, but that doesn't matter. You have all the mana you could ever want. And then there's plenty of ways that you can create infinite tokens with this and things like that. Also, if you can make elves, there's a Zuri, so you could do an overrun effect. 2 green, +3/+3 and trample. Activate that a billion times. Run everybody over.
That's neat.
Yeah. There's a ton of lore on Thranduil. You can go look it up. I'm not going to spend 30 minutes talking about his lore. He's a big character. He's done a lot of stuff really important in Middle-earth. So what do you think of this card? Rate it 1 to 10.
I'm going to give it a solid 8. Elves are insane. There's so many different ways you can build elves. There's already a whole bunch of elf commanders. It's a cool one. I personally like Marilyn better. I don't know. I've never been a big elf fan. So maybe it is a 10 out of 10 on the elf scale. But to me, it's an 8.
10 out of 10.
So.
But see, I think this one could see a little bit of fringe CEDH. I think that people will be drawn to it. I think it'll be really cool. Please go build the deck. Tell me how it does.
It doesn't facilitate the typical win in black and blue, but I mean, if you're making a ton of mana with green and have a whole bunch of interaction, maybe, I don't know. We're not big CEDH players, so I don't really know how viable it is.
Fringe. Really quick, I'm going to mention this one time and one time only. This set is stupidly expensive, and that has been on my mind so much recently. Like, it's so insane. I'm so excited for this set, and I think this might be the first time that we have to really dial it back.
Not out of want, because we've dialed it back out of not wanting a set.
Yeah, but
Plenty
other
of
sets were
times.
like, all right, this is a lot, but we really want to open it. We really want to, get the excitement of opening packs for cards, all of that. I don't know if that's even going to be possible. This one is, it's
insane.
Final Fantasy level.
Yeah, and we
It's
didn't buy a
insane.
lot of Final Fantasy because of how expensive it was. And neither one of us are big fans, but at the same time, like, it just wasn't worth the price.
No.
Yeah, no. We have a few singles from Final Fantasy, and that's probably honestly what we'll do here.
Anyway, I won't go on about it, but I know all of you have been thinking it. I've been thinking it, so I wanted to say something about it. Do you have other cards, honorable mentions?
Of course I do. I just want to start with a real simple one. Supper for Spiders. Did you see that one?
Yes.
1 in a black instant. Put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in your opponent's graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. They are food artifacts, and then it's got food reminder text. So it's literally when they all get wrapped up by spiders, but you're taking all the creatures that died and wrapping them up in web in their food for you to use. It's so flavorful. That's what I love about it.
No,
like
it is really good. I reread that card a few times and I was like, dang.
Do you have any?
Yeah, you had actually pointed this card out to me, and I think it's going to be really, really good. And again, I think it might see some spots in CEDH decks. I don't know. It's Bilbo's Gambit, 1 in a white instant, gift a treasure, return target spell to its owner's hand. If the gift was promised, players can't cast spells this turn. It's good.
Yeah, it's like Reprieve 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's better than Reprieve, I think. I don't know. Until you play a card, sometimes it doesn't work quite as well as you think. But I think it's better than Reprieve.
You get to say, nah, try again on a spell.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also create a silence effect.
Yep.
I also want to give a shout out to the Dwarven language cards because I think those are really, really cool. Especially with some of the super freaking sick reprints. Mox Amber, bro.
Yes.
I am so excited for that card to be reprinted. This one's not going to be any cheaper, but it's really freaking cool looking. I want it. And then I'm just really happy to see that they're reprinting some of the cards from the Lord of the Rings that really needed to be reprinted. Orcish Spellmasters, the One Ring, Delighted Halfling, which is another one that has that really like cartoony old like feel to it. And I think it's really cute.
It is cute. Yeah. I've got a couple others too. Elrond Moonreader. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
2 in a blue, 3/3. Whenever you activate an ability of a creature, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. But if you have a lot of creatures with activated abilities, it's worth it. Because I mean, this is 3 mana, draw at least 1 card a turn. But if you can activate a creature on even 1 or 2 other turns, then this thing will draw you a ton of cards. The Master of Laketown. I almost picked this card to talk about. It's 1 black, 3/2 with Death Touch. Whenever a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. And when the Master of Laketown dies, draw a card for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. So the losing life, milling cards can definitely go infinite with some, especially like aristocrat strategies. So I don't like that it's universal actually, because then you're filling up other players' graveyards, which might benefit them. But this card can definitely do some weird, interesting infinite loops.
Well, and there's dedicated mill decks out there. Yeah. People do that.
It is also a win con if you can't kill an opponent with your infinite like dice triggers with aristocrats. You could end up just milling them all out if the damage won't kill them alone.
They also made another, what do you call them? A ritual card? Is that what they
did?
They're referred to as?
Oh yeah.
2 red, add a red for each artifact your opponents control.
It's almost like a fixed dockside.
It's pretty cool. I think I want that for one of my decks.
It's an interesting card, that's for sure. Like, how often does Mana Geyser make less mana than this does? I'd be curious to see stats on those 2 cards in the long run. Mana Geyser costs 1 more, but I feel like Mana Geyser is a little more reliable.
Mana Geyser's the one for tap lands. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
On average.
At the end of every episode, we like to talk about something that we've been hyperfixating on, and you have something for us today.
Yeah, we're talking about new product in this episode, and there's another new product that's coming out that I am super excited for that I think is going to be really, really cool, and that is the Mystery Booster Commander Edition. First and foremost, I think it was like episode 3 of our podcast, I picked 2 cards with 2 guys on it that I thought would never in a million years, like they were so irrelevant. And this is Hoven and Chandler.
Yeah.
It's insane. I literally, it was like so random that I came across them and I went, who are these freaking nerds? I want to talk about them because they're weird. And here they are again. Well, I heard that they were going to be reprinted and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to make them better because I went on and on about how terrible their cards were. And they did originate in a set that was known for having really bad cards. Great flavor. So, quick reminder on what these guys originally were. Chandler was 4 and a red, 3/3, and then it had red, tap, destroy target artifact creature. Hoven, 3 red, 3/3, red, destroy target non-creature artifact.
Yeah, and there's a whole story behind why they are designed the way they are.
Yes, if you want to, I'm not going to talk about who they are really. They've got a really interesting story. Go back and watch our other episode. So now it's Hoven and Chandler together. 2 red, red, red. So it keeps the 5
Nice.
cost. 3/3. You know, they could have like combined their power and toughness, a 6/6 for 5. That would have been fine. But it's okay because it's both of them together. They get bigger. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to that artifact's mana value on Hoven and Chandler. The more artifact shenanigans that happen, the bigger, the stronger, the richer they get because they're thieves. And then it also has red, red, red tap ability. Gain control of target artifact until end of turn. It gains haste until end of turn. And I think that is fantastic because they're actually stealing something. Absolutely bonkers that they came back. The art itself is pretty cool. They're all buddy-buddy, like hanging on to each other, but it's got a whole bunch of Easter eggs in the art. So the question that I asked, this ebony rhino, is it an actual rhino? Is it the size of a rhino? Or is it just a little thing? Because the art on ebony rhino does not make that clear.
We have answers now?
We have answers.
What?
It's the size of a ferret.
Is it alive?
No.
No,
it's like a statue.
Okay.
It's got Hoven's ferrets in the art. One of them is next to the ebony rhino on the table. And then one of them is up Chandler's sleeve, holding what looks to be a Mox sapphire in his mouth. And then there's also on the table behind him, it looks like it could be Icy Manipulator. It's got like the orb sitting on the table. Not sure if that's correct or not, but that's what people are guessing it looks like. And then also in Chandler's hand that's on Hoven's shoulder, he's holding a set of keys that are glowing blue. So people are thinking those are like manifold keys.
Dang, these guys just have everything, huh?
They're good thieves.
Jeez. Yeah.
With the ferret distractions.
How would you feel if they did another one in the Mystery Booster Commander that was Hoven and Chandler, but it was more like Minsk and Boo, where they make the ferret token like Minsk and Boo? Wouldn't that be cool too?
Oh my God. I want more of the ferrets.
Look, these guys are cool, but I really want the ferrets.
I want to play ferrets, please. So that's one thing that I was like, this is really cool. This is crazy. The other thing that everyone is talking about from the Mystery Booster Box is the new mechanic. So we've only gotten one spoiler. There's going to be a total of 8 different cards with the Rule Breaker mechanic. But of course, the one that we got is an otter because I love ferrets, but I love otters more. I'm just going to point out that WotC really loves controversial otters. The otter is Talabo, and he has Rule Breaker. A deck with this commander can have instant and sorcery cards of one additional color, not in this commander's color identity, and any basic land cards. So I wanted to talk about kind of what our stances are on it.
Yeah, my only problem with it, I think it's cool. I think it's really neat. It allows for some new deck building. So you can only have basics of the 2 colors that you would be in with this commander. So what that will end up doing is driving up the price of cards that can tap for any color. Even though really, like, let's say you're doing blue and black, you should be able to play like Watery Grave and Tainted whatever the heck the blue one is, blue-black one. Instead, you have to end up running like City of Brass or Fetches or Mana Confluence or things like that because you can't run anything but swamps with this blue commander.
Yeah. See, I don't think that it's going to have that big of an effect. I think everyone's seeing this and going, what is this new thing? Because there's been a lot of talk about like, why are we purposely breaking things? Why are we ignoring rules? Some people just don't like it in general. And to those people, I say, did you react that way when backgrounds became a thing?
It doesn't feel that rule breaking to me.
No, it really doesn't. I think the basic lands thing was to make sure that it does stay like contained. You're not completely revising your commander's color identity. I think it's just going to be really interesting. I don't know about the prices. I still am not convinced that it's really going to affect the prices of those cards all that much.
It depends on the demand of the rule breakers. Until we see them, we won't know. But if they printed 4 different versions of this card with one of each color, nobody would be crying about it at all. That's why I'm like, whatever, I don't care that you can pick an extra color.
It is neat. And I'm excited to see more that comes out for spoilers for the mystery booster. I've never been all that excited about mystery boosters, and this one I'm excited for. I want it.
Well, yeah, we're commander players and it's designed for commanders. So it makes sense that you like it more than the other ones.
I guess that's valid.
Okay, I don't know how else to fit this in, so I'm just going to mesh this in real quick because you told me that we were talking about stuff that's coming out. We've seen next year's release schedule for in-universe sets, and it made me think if we're getting mashups of in-universe sets, I think we're going to end up getting a Universes Beyond set that's going to get mashed up. And I know you've heard this, but I just wanted to have it on record that I said this way before it was announced. Seems like a lot of mashups outside IPs, but I was trying to think about like which ones would it be. And I know we were talking about it. I was like Marvel and DC, boring, whatever. Super Smash Bros. Would be kind of cool since they have a contract with Nintendo, but I really doubt that's what it would be. But like a secret layer of Super Smash Bros. Would be sweet. But I think the most likely one, and I talked to you about this already, was that D&D just got leaked with a spoiler that's coming out. And it's World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. So D&D and Warcraft are already meshing together, and D&D's already been in Magic. So it's not that far of an assumption to assume that D&D and World of Warcraft are coming to Magic in a set, which I don't know how you feel about that. I'd be fine with it. It kind of has the same vibe as a lot of Magic. How do you feel about if that came to Magic?
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is, I've never played it, but it literally is like the same space.
Yeah, it's adjacent.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And actually there's a lot of different like D&D mashups that have happened. So that could just be a space that things happen anyway. I wouldn't mind seeing more D&D in Magic.
The D&D cards were awesome.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you would like to hear more nerdy shenanigans and other Magic content from us, you can find us on TikTok at Dicentric Games.
And if you'd like to share any of the quirks that Magic has hidden in their cards, join the Discord in the description. If you have questions or suggestions for the show, please leave a comment or send us an email.
Let us know what you think about all of these things that we talked about coming up in Magic's future, whether it be the Hobbit or it be the Mystery Booster Commander Edition or any of the other things, because we got a lot of spoilers at MagicCon Amsterdam.
Yep.
There's lots to talk about. Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Click all the buttons.
Do all the things.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.